I have another 5 ways to use video for you today, but this time it's on ColourPop and their No Filter Concealers. I just so happen to have 5 shades that I use on a routine basis, and I'm going to share with you how I use them on my complexion. First up is Medium Dark 36. Number 36 is described for warm undertones that are also golden for medium dark skin tone. I picked up number 36 as a under eye brightening shade, but I wanted it to be subtle. It's kind of difficult to tell when you're looking at swatches online, but I thought that this one might be the best one. Unfortunately, underneath my eyes, it is not only too bright, it's as if I'm going a couple shades up, like about 3. It also appears, I think it looks ashier. It's like slight ash, but it's enough for me to be like, I need it to be a lot more toned down and a lot more subtle. However, because the shade is so light on my skin tone, I knew it would be perfect to use for my eyeshadow looks to help brighten up my shades. So whether I wanted just to do a half cut crease, a full cut crease, whatever I wanted to do, I knew that this shade would work, and it does. However, due to the lightness of this shade, I knew it would be perfect as not only an eyeshadow brightener, so just cleaning up any of the eyeshadow out, kind of smoothing it out, and then applying a color on top, an actual powder formula or even a cream. It will help intensify that color more. It's like you're using a very light base. Also, what you can do if you prefer to use your concealer as an eye primer, their concealers work great for that too. It really cancels out anything you have on your lid, and it creates a nice smooth base for eyeshadow application. So I knew 36 would be perfect for that, and that is how I currently use it. Next shade up is Deep Golden 60. Now 60 is part of the original concealer launch when it first came out, and it's what I use as my actual skin complexion shade. This is a dead match for my skin tone. It actually has now been renumbered to number Dark 46, but it's the exact same shade. Dark 46/60 is described also as a golden warm undertone concealer for dark skin tones. This is actually the shade I can also use in a pinch. If I wanted to just buff it and blend it out further, I can use this in a sense like foundation. We're going to go actually a little bit into the No Filter Foundation, the new one. But this is what I can use if I just kind of want to spread it out and conceal. It makes a great concealer shade for my complexion. Next shade is Tan 50. Now Tan 50 is the shade that I originally purchased at the beginning of the initial launches as a under eye brightener. It is very subtle. So it was kind of like in the middle, meaning it's subtle, but I feel it's a little bit too subtle. So, you know, you just see that happy medium, you know, when you see it underneath your eyes, like, can I get it right? Unfortunately, with ColourPop, since you can't swatch it in the store, you're kind of stuck with it if you can't use it again. However, I found a use for Tan 50. Now Tan 50 is light enough for me to use if I wanted to use it as an eye primer. Sometimes I do that. If I wanted to use it for my eyeshadow base, as far as to brighten the eyeshadows, I still feel it's not strong, not bright enough. So again, I do prefer to use the prior shade 36 for that. But what I did is I took number 50 with the 4th shade that I use, which is Deep Dark 54, and I combine the two together. Together, both of these shades make the perfect base when I'm trying to cover an imperfection that is, let's say, like a fresh pimple. Sometimes there's a little bit of redness around it, or it could be a dark mark that is still healing, that is still a little bit more pronounced. Both of these two together will actually cover that. That was just me mixing them together and finding that out. Last shade is Deep 70. Now Deep 70 is what I will use when I want a deeper contour. And this is actually the tricky part when I was trying to look up the darker ones to see, well, which one would have a little bit more red, which one would be a little bit more neutral, but not too neutral, where it would look like gray on my skin. you're going to hear the annoyance, but it is an annoying factor when you have to go by these swatches online that look much more enhanced by the brand, and then trying to also find the color review from searching on YouTube. Sometimes they're just not there. I would like to go deeper, like how I like my toasted look, but what I've decided is just to stop at this color, this shade. It gives me the contrast that I like, but I have other darker ones from other brands that I use. So I figure, let me go ahead and just use those. I'm pleased with those, and then I'll just stick with 70 for now. I also wanted to touch base on the No Filter Foundation and just provide my reasoning behind why I'm not picking it up, because it's probably something you might be like, what do you mean you're not picking it up? It's a new foundation and you enjoy ColourPop, which is true. But this is what I was seeing when it came up to the initial launch itself. It appears that we see the bottles and we see the PR package on their Instagram, but there's no swatches anywhere, just the colors of the bottle. Then it's the actual day of the launch and it's nothing. Then it was the actual launch of the foundation. On that actual day, I know it was after 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time because I was out and about, but when I went to the brand's Instagram page, then they actually posted the comparison where, oh, here's the recommendation from another brand, here is what would work for you. That's too quick for me. I mean, I wish they would have had that a day, like the day before the launch, because it's all rush and trying to figure out, am I even on the list? So that was annoying to me. So I remember I got home and then I looked at the list and my color wasn't there. But when I went to the website, this is what I want to show you. If you are in the market to pick up the foundation, this is what they have. So I did click on Match by Brand, and they have about 4 different brands there, which is great. First option is MAC Studio Fix Fluid. I select the color shade of NW43, which is a good match for me, and it pulls up under Dark 170, the cool foundation, reddish undertone for dark skin tones. And then it says this shade is your closest match. Now, I don't have a lot of red in my skin, so that was kind of throwing me off. Also, the bottle color, here we go again with the swatch. I was like, no. Let's check the next one. So the second option is Fenty Beauty. Now Fenty's foundation, $3.90, is a perfect golden match for me. But unfortunately, in the list of numbers, $3.90 is not even listed there. So that was actually a pretty strong decision for me to not even try the foundation, because if you don't even have $3.90 on there, which I feel is a good color match for me, you're not going to have anything that I'm going to be pleased with. The next choice is Estee Lauder Double Wear. Now under Double Wear, I am 6W1 Sandalwood. Their match to that is Dark 180, cool foundation with reddish pink undertone, again for dark skin. There's this little verbiage underneath that states the shade is slightly lighter than your current foundation selection. I'm not mixing this, so I go, okay, no match for me there. And the last option is Maybelline Fit Me, where 340 is the perfect match for my skin. I am very happy with that number. And then unfortunately, again, 340 is not listed in the selection. My shade from, I would say, 2 of the top foundations that are like dead on with my skin tone is not even an option for me. I'm like, no, I'm already turned off with the fact that there were no swatches before the launch. I'm already turned off with the fact that you wait until the day of to produce this recommendation shade. Then I go, of course, to YouTube to see some videos, and I don't even see all the shades swatched. So it's just like one thing after another, and I'm like, eh. Then I look at the actual size of the bottle, like the ounces, and it's a little bit bigger than the NYX Total Drop Foundation, which is like 0.48 ounces, and theirs is 5.8. I want to say it's 5.8, but it's $12. Now, NYX is a little bit up there as well, but NYX at least you can swatch in the store. If you don't like the color, you can take it back. There's always a coupon. There's always something to knock NYX's price down well below ColourPop's. For ColourPop's, I feel for $12, for the hassle of only ordering online, for the hassle of having to guess your shade, for the hassle of not being able to return it, you should have that price a heck of a lot lower than $12 for the consumer. That is just my opinion, but that's how I feel. I do hope this has been helpful for you in the sense if you are close to my undertone, close to my skin tone, and you wanted, you know, one for your eyeshadow, one to contour with, one for your under eye, one to maybe use as foundation, that it was able to maybe help assist you with picking out a shade online. And with that, we are done. I do want to thank you for stopping by and watching and spending time with me. I do appreciate that. And as always, I am going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.